Charlie, you're on my textbook. I can't have you break the pages, honey. Okay. Sit here. It's okay. Sit here. Okay. Putting the pieces together. Sample rating prompt A. The following article, Learn to Use That Laptop, The Case of Mandatory Computers, by Enrico Turing, College Technology Magazine. Contrary to popular belief, not all young people are great with technology. Although almost everyone make this claim, where is the actual evidence? Some young people are tech savvy, yes. However, in my experience, many are not. Those who automatically assume that young people are natural tech experts are guilty of ageism, which the Canadian Oxford Dictionary defines as prejudice or discrimination on the grounds of age. Think about it, though. The people who invented all of this technology are now in their 40s and 50s or older. Bill Gates, who founded Microsoft, is 57. Steve Wozniak, who helped found Apple, is 62. The most tech-savvy person I know personally, indeed, is a 60-year-old woman. If you compare older people with younger people, the biggest difference is this. Young people think they know what they are doing. Because computer skills are crucial for both college and the workplace, all incoming college students, regardless of age, should be required to buy a laptop and pass a computer course in their first semester of college. This computer course would start off simply, but it would quickly become much more advanced. Although young people generally know how to download music and movies, rapidly thumb text on their cell phones, and rip music to iPods, many young people aren't actually very good with technology, and they don't even know it. They don't really know how to use library databases, which are much better than Google, for research, for example, and their word processing skills are often hopelessly inadequate for college work. In fact, my years of teaching experience suggest that some student writing problems result from a lack of knowledge about Microsoft Word. Sure, students know how to do very basic things, but Word is a powerful package, and most students don't have a clue about a lot of features that can make their lives much easier. To be tech savvy is to be very knowledgeable about technology. The course could also address more general issues about technology. Issues like online etiquette or net etiquette, net etiquette or net etiquette, copyright, viruses, privacy, and security, all of which come up whenever anyone uses a computer. For example, students need to know that they shouldn't use the nickname based Hotmail addresses they got in grade 11 when they write resumes and cover letters because employers view such email addresses as unprofessional. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Oops. Students need to know that funny Facebook pictures of them lying on the grass surrounded by beer bottles might not be so funny in 2011 when a potential employer sees those pictures during a background check. For all of these reasons, we should require that students buy new laptops when they register. The cost would be part of their tuition. We should also require that they take a course on how to use their computers efficiently and sensibly so they learn more than just how to download songs and message their friends. Instead of worrying about students misusing their laptops and the software they come with, let's teach them to use these tools properly. Instructions. Write a multi-paragraph response in essay format. Introduction, body, conclusion to the article below. Your response should accurately summarize the author's main argument and critically respond to it. You may choose to agree with the author's argument, to disagree with it, or to partially disagree with it. Your essay should also consider at least one objection a reader might have to your argument. You may respond to the objection in different ways. For example, you may argue against the objection, or you may acknowledge that the objection is a good point and incorporate it into your argument. It's your choice. So there's that one. And then there's putting the pieces together. Sample writing prompt B. Volunteering is the best business training. Let's read this one too. Most, if not all students have chosen college because they hope their courses of study will lead to employment after graduation. Unfortunately, however, many students do not know what they want to do, and even if they do, they usually are not sure whether their chosen programs and their professions that follow them are what they want. This uncertainty can result in students switching programs at college, thus wasting their time and the time of the teachers who taught courses that they can no longer use. Also, if students complete their original programs and then find related employment, there is no guarantee that they will be happy with their choices. This scenario is particularly true in real world of business. For example, students in business often see their program choice as a way to make a profitable and practical living after graduation, yet they have no authentic experience in the business world. For all these reasons, we should help students with this program by requiring that they volunteer in their chosen fields before beginning college programs related to those fields. Here's another example. Suppose a student decides to study nursing. The student knows there are jobs in nursing as the healthcare keeps expanding. The student may even have family members who work in nursing, so he or she might know something about it from them. What the student cannot possibly know, though, is whether he or she will like nursing or be good at it. The student chooses a college nursing program, and at the end of a long course of study, his or her professors and course marks will measure skills, but not whether he or she will actually like being a nurse. Unfortunately, it might take several years of work experience to answer this last question, and by then, if the answer is no, the student will have spent years learning to dislike a profession that took years to join. Our current system, in other words, has the potential to waste enormous amounts of students' time and money. It might even strand them in careers that they don't enjoy but cannot leave. The current solution does not make a good practical and business sense. There is an obvious solution to this enormous potential for wasted time and effort. Colleges should require that students acquire more information about their chosen careers before they begin their studies. As part of the admissions process, colleges should require documentation that students have completed at least 6 months of work in their chosen fields. Paid work might not be possible, of course, so volunteer work would be acceptable. Students could complete this volunteer work any time in the years leading up to the beginning of their studies. This work would give them a better idea about whether they have chosen the right career before they invest years of time and money to find out, possibly the hard way, the answer to the same question. In light of these facts, then, colleges should immediately change their admissions procedures to require prior knowledge, either through paid work or volunteering, of students' proposed fields of study. It is, after all, better to gain knowledge sooner rather than later. All students will ultimately end up working for some form of business organization upon graduation, and experience in the field is ultimately the best business training possible. Instructions. Write a multi-paragraph response in essay format. Introduction, body, conclusion to the article below. Your response should accurately summarize the author's main argument and critically respond to it. Unit 1, Writing Content. WRIT course learning outcomes. Identify author, source type, audience, purpose, and thesis in written prompts. Summarize the arguments of the written prompts. Evaluate supporting evidence of arguments. Express a clear written argument. Provide evidence in support of arguments. Write a short essays applying the principles of argumentation in response to the prompts. Create a sophisticated thesis claim. Provide persuasive assertions that fully support the thesis claim, offering sound and specific proofs that fully support assertions, writing a clear and detailed summary. Chapter 1, Introduction to Writing, Section Overview. Reading and Writing in College. Learning objectives. 1. Understand the expectations for reading and writing assignments in college courses. 2. Understand and apply general strategies to complete college-level reading assignments efficiently and effectively. 3. Recognize specific types of writing frequently included in college courses. 4. Understand and apply general strategies for managing college-level writing assignments. 5. Determine specific reading and writing strategies that work best for you individually. As you begin this chapter, you may be wondering why you need an introduction. After all, you have been writing and reading since elementary school. You completed numerous assessments of your reading and writing skills in high school, and as part of your application process for college. You may write on the job too. Why is a college writing course even necessary? When you are eager to get started on the coursework in your major that will prepare you for your career, getting excited about an introductory college writing course can be difficult. However, regardless of your field of study, honing your writing skills and your reading and critical thinking skills gives you more solid academic foundation. In college, academic expectations change from what you may have experienced in high school. The quantity of work you're expected to do is increased. When instructors expect you to read pages upon pages or study hours and hours for one particular course, managing your workload can be challenging. This chapter includes strategies for studying efficiently and managing your time. Ooh, I need that. The quality of the work you do also changes. It is not enough to understand course material and summarize it on an exam. You will be expected to seriously engage with new ideas by reflecting on them, analyzing them, critiquing them, making connections, drawing conclusions, or finding new ways of thinking about a given subject. Educationally, you are moving into deeper waters. A good introductory writing course will help you swim. High school versus college assignments. So high school reading assignments are moderately long. Teachers may set aside some class time for reading and reviewing the material in depth. College, some reading assignments may be very long. You will be expected to come to class with a basic understanding of the material. In high school, teachers often provide study guides and other aids to help you prepare for exams. In college, reviewing for exams is primarily your responsibility. In high school, your grade is determined by your performance on a wide variety of assessments, including minor and major assignments. Not all assessments are writing-based. In college, your grade may depend on just a few major assessments. Most assessments are writing based. In high school, writing assignments include personal writing and creative writing, in addition to expository writing. In college, outside of creative writing courses, most writing assignments are expository. In high school, the structure and format of your writing assignments is generally stable over a 4-year period. In college, depending on the course, you may be asked to master new forms of writing and follow standards within a particular professional field. In high school, teachers often go out of their way to identify and try to help students who are performing poorly on exams, missing classes, not returning assignments, or just struggling with the course. Often teachers will give students many chances. In college, although teachers want their students to succeed, they may not always realize when students are struggling. They also expect you to be proactive and take steps to help yourself. Second chances are less common. This chapter covers the types of reading and writing assignments you will encounter as a college student. You will also learn a variety of strategies for mastering these new challenges and becoming a more confident student and writer. Throughout this chapter, you will follow a first-year student named Crystal. After several years of working as a saleswoman in a department store, Crystal has decided to pursue a degree in elementary education and become a teacher. She's continuing to work part-time, and occasionally she finds it challenging to balance the demands of work, school, and caring for her 4-year-old son. As you read about Crystal, think about how you can use her experience to get the most out of your own college experience. Let's respond to the following questions. 1. In what ways do you think college will be more rewarding for you as a learner? 2. What aspects of college do you expect to find most challenging? 3. What changes do you think you might have to make in your life to ensure your success in college? Reading strategies. Your college courses will sharpen both your reading and your writing skills. Most of your writing assignments, from brief response papers to in-depth research projects, will depend on your understanding of course reading assignments or related readings to do on your own. And it is difficult, if not impossible, to write effectively about a text that you have not understood. Even when you do understand the writing, it can be hard to write about it if you do not feel personally engaged with the ideas discussed. This section discusses strategies you can use to get the most of your college reading assignments. These strategies fall into 3 broad categories. Number 1, planning strategies to help manage your reading assignments. 2, comprehension strategies to help you understand the material. 3, active reading strategies to take your understanding to a higher and deeper level. Planning your reading. Have you ever stayed up all night cramming just before an exam? Yep. Or found yourself skimming a detailed memo from your boss 5 minutes before a crucial meeting? The first step in handling college reading successfully is planning. This involves both managing your time and setting a clear purpose for your reading. Managing your reading time. You will learn more detailed strategies for time management in section 1.2, developing study skills. But for now, focus on setting aside enough time for reading and breaking your assignments into manageable chunks. If you are assigned a 70-page chapter to read for the next week's class, try not to wait until the night before to get started. Give yourself at least a few days and tackle one section at a time. Your method for breaking up the assignment will depend on the type of reading. If the text is very dense and packed with unfamiliar terms and concepts, you may need to read no more than 5 or 10 pages in one sitting so that you can truly understand and process the information. With more user-friendly text, you will be able to handle longer sections, 20 to 40 pages for instance. And if you have a highly engaging reading assignment, such as a novel you cannot put down, you may be able to read lengthy passages in one sitting. As the semester progresses, you will develop a better sense of how much time you need to allow for the reading assignments in different subjects. It also makes sense to preview each assignment well in advance to access its difficulty level and to determine how much reading time to set aside. Tip: college instructors often set aside reserve readings for a particular course. These consist of articles, book chapters, or other texts that are not part of your primary course textbook. Copies of reserve readings are available through the university library in print, if more often online. When you're assigned a reserve reading, download it ahead of time and let your instructor know if you have trouble accessing it. Skim through it to get a rough idea of how much time you will need to read the assignment in full. Setting a purpose. The other key component of planning is setting a purpose. Knowing what you want to get out of a reading assignment helps to determine how to approach it and how much time to spend on it. It also helps you stay focused during those occasional moments when it is late, you are tired, and relaxing in front of the television sounds far more appealing than curling up with a set of journal articles. Sometimes your purpose is simple. You might just need to understand the reading material well enough to discuss it intelligently in class the next day. However, your purpose will often go beyond that. For instance, you might also read to compare two texts, to formulate personal response to a text, or to gather ideas for further research. Here are some questions to ask yourself to help determine your purpose. How did my instructor frame the assignment? Often your instructors will tell you what they expect you to get out of the reading. Read chapter 2 and come to class prepared to discuss current teaching practices in elementary math. These are examples. How deeply do I need to understand the reading? If you are majoring in computer science and you're assigned to read chapter 1, Introduction to Computer Science, it is safe to assume the chapter presents fundamental concepts that you will be expected to master. However, for some reading assignments, you may be expected to form a general understanding, but not necessarily master the content. How does this assignment relate to other course readings or to concepts discussed in class? It helps to take detailed notes when you read. How might I use this text again in the future? If you were assigned to read about a topic that has always interested you, your reading assignment might help you develop ideas for a future research paper. Some reading assignments provide valuable tips or summaries worth bookmarking for future reference. Think about what you can take from the reading that will stay with you. Improving your comprehension. You have blocked out time for your reading assignments and set a purpose for reading. Now comes the challenge, making sure you actually understand all the information you are expected to process. Some of your reading assignments will be fairly straightforward. Others, however, will be longer or more complex, so you will need a plan for how to handle them. For any expository writing, that is, nonfiction and formal writing, your first comprehension goal is to identify the main points and relate any details to those main points. Because college level texts can be challenging, you will also need to monitor your reading comprehension. That is, you will need to stop periodically and assess how well you understand what you are reading. Finally, you can improve comprehension by taking time to determine which strategies work best for you and putting those strategies into practice. Identifying the main points. Textbooks nonfiction trade books, popular magazine, newspaper, or web articles, scholarly books, and journal articles. The most important idea that the writer wants to communicate and often states early on. Main point gives you a framework to organize the details presented in the reading and relate the reading to concepts you learned in class. Okay. Monitoring your comprehension. Finding the main idea and paying attention to text features as you read helps you figure out what you should know. Just as important, however, is being able to figure out what you do not know and developing a strategy to deal with it. Summarize. At the end of each section, pause to summarize the main points in a few sentences. If you have trouble doing so, revisit that section. 2. Ask and answer questions. When you begin reading a section, try to identify 2 or 3 questions you should be able to answer after you finish it. Write down your questions and use them to test yourself on the reading. If you cannot answer a question, try to determine why. Do not read in a vacuum. Look for opportunities to discuss the reading with your classmates. Many instructors set up online discussion forums or blogs specifically for that purpose. Participating in these discussions can help you determine whether your understanding of the main points is the same as your peers. As a working mother, Crystal found that the best time to get her reading done was in the evening, after she had put her 4-year-old to bed. However, she occasionally had trouble concentrating at the end of a long day. She found that by actively working to summarize the reading and asking and answering questions, she focused better and retained more of what she read. She also found that evenings were a good time to check the class discussion forums that a few of her instructors had created. Choose any text that you have been assigned to read for one of your college courses. Summarize the main points of the text in 2 or 3 sentences. Write down 2 to 3 questions about the text that you can bring up during class discussion. Students are often reluctant to seek help. They feel like doing so marks them as slow, weak, or demanding. The truth is, every learner occasionally struggles. If you are sincerely trying to keep up with the course reading, but feel you are in over your head, seek out help. Speak up in class, schedule a meeting with your instructor, or visit your university learning center for assistance. Deal with the problem as early in the semester as you can. Instructors respect students who are proactive about their own learning. Most instructors will work hard to help students who make the effort to help themselves. Okay, I'm getting tired from all the reading. I need a break. And later on, I will respond to a writing prompt with a thesis, main argument, purpose, details, supporting points, if I agree or disagree. Write a 1-sentence response to each question. Okay.